Most people think buying a brand new car in 2026 means peace of mind. But what if I told you that some of the newest cars hitting dealerships right now are walking disasters? Cars that look modern, stylish, and reliable on the surface, but underneath are hiding engine defects, transmission failures, and electronics so unstable they can shut down at highway speeds. And here's the part that should scare you. Several models on this list already have real-world failure patterns forming, even before most buyers hit 20,000 miles. These aren't rumors, these are warning signs the manufacturers hope you never discover. Stick around until number 1, because the worst car on this list isn't just unreliable, it's a full-blown engineering catastrophe that could cost owners thousands the moment the warranty expires. Number 10, 2026 Subaru Ascent. The Subaru Ascent has always marketed itself as the safe, outdoorsy family SUV, but beneath the rugged image, the 2026 model carries the same Achilles heel as its predecessors. An overworked CVT paired with a turbocharged engine that strains against the transmission every time you pull uphill. Owners of earlier models already report shuddering, whining, and delayed engagement as early as 25,000 miles. And because Subaru hasn't redesigned the transmission for 2026, the same problems are set to plague new buyers. Imagine loading your family for a road trip, merging onto the freeway, and suddenly the torque hits the transmission harder than it can handle. The RPM spikes, the car hesitates, you feel the entire drivetrain lurch, and for a split second, you're not accelerating at all. That is the Ascented experience, unpredictability packaged as dependability. And the story doesn't end with the CVT. Reports of excessive oil consumption have reappeared, along with climate control failures tied to the HVAC module. Pairs stack quickly, a transmission replacement can run over $7,000 once the warranty ends. Combine that with 45–50% depreciation within 5 years, and the 2026 Ascent becomes a rolling reminder that good safety ratings don't always equal good engineering. The real regret hits when you realize Subaru's big family SUV may not actually survive long enough to grow with your family. Number 9, 2025-2026 Mazda CX-90 Inline-6 Turbo. Mazda shocked everyone by bringing back a rear-wheel drive platform with a brand new turbocharged inline-6. On paper, it's exciting. In reality, it's a massive gamble. First-generation engines are notorious for early failures, and Mazda's new inline-6 already shows worrying signs. Fuel dilution in the oil, overheating under load, and random stalling tied to an unrefined ECU calibration. Mechanics report difficulty diagnosing misfires because the engine management software keeps fighting their attempts to pin down the issue. The 8-speed automatic paired with this engine has its own quirks: harsh downshifts, sudden gear hunting on hills, and a lag between pedal input and actual movement. Owners describe pressing the gas, waiting a full second, and then being jolted forward as the turbo spools up unpredictably. The financial consequences will be severe. Early adopters who bought the CX-90 expecting Lexus-like refinement are discovering European-style maintenance costs. Warranty-sealed components make DIY repair impossible, and once the warranty expires, a single turbo replacement or oil-soaked catalytic converter can cost thousands. Mazda built a luxury SUV without having the luxury track record, and in 2026, regret will come the moment those beautiful new engines start showing their age. Number 8, 2024-2026 Honda HR-V. Honda has an incredible reputation, but the HR-V simply isn't living up to it. What looks like an affordable, reliable crossover hides one of Honda's sloppiest engineering transitions in years. The 2024 redesign introduced a new CVT mapping, new sensors, and new software, all of which are proving glitchy. Owners report delayed acceleration, transmission overheating, and a bizarre throttle dead zone where pressing the pedal does nothing for a terrifying moment. Then come the electrical failures. Screens freezing mid-drive, blind spot sensors refusing to calibrate, and random warning lights that dealerships often dismiss as normal behavior. But it isn't normal when your daily commuter suddenly loses the ability to detect cars next to you. Financially, the HR-V looks cheap until repairs start. Because the system modules are so interconnected, a faulty radar sensor can disable multiple safety systems, turning a $300 part into a $1,200. HR-V depreciates faster than the CR-V or Civic. Owners lose thousands in equity even before the mechanical issues appear. The worst part, many buyers purchase the HR-V expecting Honda-level reliability and discover they bought the one Honda product that behaves like a beta test. Number 7, 2025-2026 Hyundai Kona Electric. Hyundai's EV lineup has been expanding aggressively, but the first years of new EV platforms always carry massive risk, and the Kona Electric is already showing the cracks. High-voltage battery temperatures spike unexpectedly under fast charging, forcing sudden charging slowdowns. Some owners have reported total loss of power power during acceleration due to inverter overheating. The new battery management software seems rushed, with reports of inaccurate range estimates that drop by 30-40 miles overnight. Imagine trying to pass a semi-truck pushing the accelerator and suddenly the car enters reduced power mode because the inverter thinks it's too warm. Your acceleration dies. The semi is still coming. That's not a hypothetical. Multiple early Kona EV owners have already reported this exact scenario. Repair costs are brutal. EV components aren't cheap. An inverter can cost $3,000 to replace, and high voltage battery failures are well into 5-figure. And because the EV market is shifting rapidly, early model EVs depreciate like falling rocks. The 2024 Kona Electric already shows 40-50% value loss in just a couple years. Hyundai's EV ambitions are impressive, but the Kona Electric is still a science experiment wearing a consumer badge, and 2026 buyers may be the ones paying for that experiment. Number 6. 2026 Chevrolet Equinox. Chevrolet's 2026 Equinox redesign introduces new software, new sensors, new powertrains, and a new digital interior, and that's the problem. Chevy's track record with first-year redesigns is shaky, and early dealership reports are already showing troubling trends. Infotainment blackouts, camera systems that freeze, automatic braking sensors that false trigger, and transmissions that thump during low-speed shift. And because this is GM's newest electronic architecture, even technicians admit they don't fully understand the interactions between modules yet. A faulty front camera can disable adaptive cruise, a glitchy steering assist sensor can trigger limp mode. What used to be a simple diagnosis now turns into an all-day software interrogation. Voters may buy the 2026 Equinox expecting a clean, modern upgrade. What they'll get is a complex network of beta-tested tech that still needs 2 more model years to mature. When your daily SUV refuses to shift out of park because a $40 sensor malfunctioned, regret sets in fast, and when the redesigned Equinox starts losing value due to early complaints, owners will find themselves stuck with a car that cost them thousands more than they expected. Number 5. The 2025-2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. On the surface, the Grand Cherokee L is everything buyers want: 3 rows, luxury design, modern tech, and that classic Jeep presence. But underneath the polished interior and handsome exterior lies one of the most unstable electronic platforms Jeep has ever put on the road. Owners of earlier model years already report infotainment shutdowns that wipe out navigation, audio, climate controls, and even driver assist features in a single glitch. The 2025-2026 versions continue this issue because the electronics architecture hasn't fundamentally changed. It's the same fragile system with new software layered on top. On long drives, owners describe the screen going completely black, then rebooting mid-drive, leaving them without lane keep assistance, blind spot detection, or even speed limit reading. And when it comes to mechanical reliability, things only get worse. The electronic parking brake has a reputation for randomly activating at low speed. The automatic start-stop system engages unevenly, killing the engine at the wrong moment and causing violent restarts that shake the entire drivetrain. The 3.6-liter engines in these models have shown rising reports of coolant leaks from the water pump, while the 5.7-liter V8s are now notorious for lifter tick, a sound that often precedes camshaft damage. Financially, it's a trap. Fixing modern Jeep electronics can cost thousands because every module depends on the others. A glitch in the body control module can confuse the infotainment, which triggers a fault in the blind spot radar, which then disables the adaptive cruise control. Owners end up paying for diagnostics, reprogramming, and part swaps that may or may not solve the original issue. Depreciation is equally brutal, and with every new reliability complaint, resale values fall even further. What you're left with is a beautiful, luxurious family SUV that behaves like a prototype. It looks like success, but it drives like uncertainty. Number 4. The BMW's plug-in models promise performance and efficiency, but this generation has exposed one of the most troubling reliability patterns in modern German engineering. The high-voltage battery system, already a complex piece of machinery, has been plagued by overheating, sudden shutdowns, and charging failures. Early adopters report the car refusing to charge overnight, displaying vague charging error warnings that even dealerships struggle to decode. Worse, owners have reported sudden power loss when the hybrid system fails to blend electric and gas power smoothly. One moment you're accelerating, the next, the engine cuts out as the hybrid computer tries to make sense of a system fault. The 8-speed transmission mated to this setup doesn't escape the blame either. With multiple power sources feeding into a single gearbox, The tiniest calibration error results in harsh shifts, surging acceleration, or the infamous BMW hesitation, a full second of dead pedal before the car realizes what you want. The turbo 6-cylinder engine is strong, but add a high-voltage battery, cooling loops, and the electric motors, and now you've got a symphony of potential failure points. Ownership costs turn from premium to punish. High-voltage components can cost thousands to replace, and even diagnosing hybrid faults requires specialized equipment and long wait times. Some owners have been stuck for weeks waiting for battery modules or inverter parts while BMW flies components from overseas. And when a luxury SUV spends more time in service than in your driveway, the badge on the hood stops feeling prestigious. Instead, it becomes a reminder that cutting-edge efficiency doesn't always mean dependable engineering. In 2026, buying the X5 plug-in isn't a step into the future, it's stepping into a very expensive experiment. Before we enter the top 3, it's important to understand what's coming next. The vehicles ahead aren't mildly unreliable, aren't occasionally glitchy, and aren't just over. These next 3 cars come with engineering flaws so severe, so widespread, and so deeply rooted in their design that owners won't just regret buying them, they'll be fighting to get rid of them. If the first half of this list was a warning, the top 3 are a full-scale alarm. They're not just bad purchases, they're disasters waiting to happen. Number 3, the 2025-2026 Mercedes-Benz GLC. For years, Mercedes has been the symbol of luxury, refinement, and engineering precision. But the newest generation of the GLC is quietly becoming one of the most problematic luxury SUVs in the segment. It starts with the MBUX infotainment system, a touchscreen that controls nearly everything in the cabin. On paper, it's futuristic. In practice, it's a single point of catastrophic failure. Owners report lag, freezes, black screens, and software that crashes during driving, instantly wiping out climate controls, navigation, and driver assistance features. When the entire cabin runs on software, a glitch isn't just annoying, it's disabling. But the electronics are only the beginning. The new mild hybrid turbo engines, designed for efficiency and smoothness, are showing early signs of long-term trouble. Overheating under moderate load, oil leaks around the turbo seals, and timing chain rattle on cold starts are becoming surprisingly common on low-mileage vehicles. And because these engines rely heavily on advanced electronics to regulate boost pressure and engine response, one faulty sensor can send the entire system into limp mode without warning. Then there's the suspension. The air suspension option, marketed as delivering magic carpet comfort, has begun failing in patterns that suggest premature wear. Owners describe waking up to a GLC sitting at a noticeable angle, the air bladder on one corner having leaked overnight. Those repairs aren't quick, cheap, or easy. They're the kind of failures that immediately turn a luxury purchase into a financial headache. As depreciation hits, the GLC becomes even more painful. The luxury market punishes models with early reliability concerns, and the GLC is already losing value faster than expected. Buyers looking for prestige find themselves saddled with a vehicle whose technological complexity multiplies repair bills and whose real-world dependability is a shadow of its marketing promises. What should have been a statement of success turns into an expensive, stress-filled reminder that luxury doesn't guarantee longevity. Number 2, the 2023-2026 Ford Explorer Hybrid. This SUV is supposed to blend capability, efficiency, and Ford's classic family-friendly utility. Instead, it carries one of the most dangerous engineering flaws in any modern SUV, a rear axle bolt that can shear under stress. Ford has issued multiple recalls for this exact problem, but the underlying design is unchanged. The bolt can snap during acceleration, causing a loud bang, sudden loss of power to the rear wheels, and in some cases, complete loss of movement. Imagine pulling into traffic, hitting the gas, and feeling your entire drivetrain disconnect beneath you. That's not a minor inconvenience. That's a safety hazard. The hybrid system itself adds another layer of chaos. Owners report sudden shutdowns when the hybrid drivetrain overheats or detects a software fault. One moment you're cruising smoothly, the next you're coasting with a dead accelerator, drifting to the shoulder while cars fly past. But the problems don't stop there. The Explorer Hybrid's cooling system has shown a troubling tendency to fail prematurely, forcing owners into expensive repairs when the hybrid system cooks itself under normal driving conditions. Dealerships are struggling to keep up. Tracking down hybrid faults means hours of diagnostics, reprogramming sessions, and in many cases replacing entire modules. When the high-voltage battery cooling loop malfunctions, repair costs skyrocket. Combine that with the Explorer Explorer's already shaky reputation for electrical stability, and you get a family SUV that can, and often does, leave its owners stranded without warning. What makes the Explorer Hybrid especially dangerous is the illusion of reliability. Families buy it thinking they're getting a safe, efficient upgrade from the standard Explorer. Instead, they inherit a machine where mechanical flaws and hybrid complexity collide into an unpredictable ownership experience. For many buyers, the realization comes too late. After the warranty is thin, the recalls are backlogged, and the repair bills begin stacking like dominoes. In 2026, the Explorer Hybrid won't just be a regret. It'll be a warning sign of what happens when automakers rush electrification without nailing the fundamentals. Before we reach number 1, understand this: the top spot isn't about a car that has a few flaws or questionable long-term reliability. It's about a vehicle line with a problem so widespread, so deeply rooted, and so devastating to owners that the consequences go far beyond inconvenience. This isn't just an unreliable car, it's the kind of engineering disaster that can financially cripple the people who buy it. If you think the vehicles so far have been bad, the number 1 car on this list makes them look tame. It's the definition of regret, multiplied by millions. Number 1, the 2026 Toyota RAV. This will shock a lot of people because Toyota has spent decades building the single strongest reliability reputation in the entire automotive industry. But what's happening with the RAV4 Hybrid and Prime models is one of the clearest examples of how even the most trusted brands can make catastrophic engineering missteps, mistakes that will cost thousands of owners their time, their money, and in some cases their safety. The core issue is deceptively simple. Toyota paired its hybrid system with an engine and fuel system that have a long-running unresolved defect, fuel tank filling failures, and high-voltage system shutdowns. For years now, RAV4 hybrid owners have reported being unable to fill their tanks past 9 or 10 gallons. Even though the tank is rated for over 14, the pump clicks off repeatedly, forcing owners to spend 10-15 minutes wrestling with something as basic as refueling their own car. Toyota acknowledges the problem but still hasn't provided a permanent fix, even after multiple model years. That alone is frustrating, but unfortunately it gets much worse. More troubling are the sudden high-voltage shutdowns. Owners describe driving at highway speeds when the dash erupts in warning messages. Hybrid system malfunctions, stop immediately. Within seconds, the car enters reduced power mode, or dies entirely, leaving drivers coasting across lanes with no ability to accelerate and no warning before the failure. These aren't rare incidents, they're happening to RAV4 hybrids and primes across multiple model years. And because the hybrid battery, inverter, and engine management systems must work in perfect synchronization, the smallest fault, a sensor out of range, a voltage spike, a cooling issue, can shut the entire car down in an instant. Dealers struggle to diagnose these failures because Toyota's hybrid system doesn't always generate clear error logs. Some owners have had their cars stuck at dealerships for weeks, waiting on parts or hoping technicians can replicate a failure that may occur only once every few hundred miles. But when it does happen, it's terrifying. Imagine traveling with your family in the left lane, going 70 miles per hour, and losing forward power because the hybrid system panicked. That's not just a mechanical issue, that's a life-threatening scenario. And then there's the cost. Hybrid battery replacements can run upwards of $8,000. Inverter assemblies can cost $4,000 or more. Even small issues like cooling pump failures become $1,000 repairs because hybrid systems require specialized labor and proprietary tools. As these vehicles age, out-of-warranty owners will be forced to absorb repair bills that dwarf the savings from buying a hybrid in the first place. Depreciation is the final blow. The RAV4 hybrid used to command excellent resale value, but as these shutdown issues become more widely known, the market will correct itself. Used buyers don't want a vehicle that might randomly lose power, and once the market starts to distrust a Toyota model, values fall fast. That's why the RAV4 Hybrid and Prime take the number 1 spot. Not because they're bad cars on paper, but because their problems are deeply embedded in systems that are incredibly expensive to diagnose, difficult to repair, and potentially dangerous when they fail. When a car with Toyota's reputation starts to buckle under the weight of its own complexity, regret doesn't come slowly. It hits all at once the moment the dashboard lights up and you realize your dependable hybrid isn't dependable at all. Now, if you've watched this entire countdown, you already understand the truth. Modern cars are getting more complicated, not more reliable, and complexity is expensive. When electronics take over steering, braking, shifting, and even the fuel system, a single malfunction can take an entire vehicle offline. And when manufacturers rush new platforms, new powertrains, or new hybrid systems, those first model years become experiments. experiments, with you as the test subject. So here's your next move. If you want to avoid losing thousands on your next vehicle, you need to see our breakdown of the 15 cars losing value faster than any other models going into. Some of these cars are dropping 20, 30, even 40% of their value in just a few years, more than most people spend on an entire used car. If you want to protect your money and avoid the financial traps hiding inside shiny new vehicles, click that video. It might save you a fortune.